Stage 3 at the Redlands Bicycle Classic. It's the Highland Circuit race today. Frankie, a lot of climbing today, but a little different style of climbing than what they had on Oak Glen yesterday.
Yeah, this is more of a power climb with about 1.5 kilometers out of the final corner coming up here. And Katie Hall only has a 16-second lead, and there's 13 seconds available. 3 seconds for the winner at the intermediate, 10 seconds, of course, for the finish. But with this drag, all of the leaders really have to pay attention to any time gaps that are going to open up on that sprint to the line.
Yeah, this climb, crucial at the Redlands Bicycle Classic. 15 laps for the women today. They're underway in racing. You're watching the 2018 Redlands Bicycle Classic presented by the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians. After winning the stage and taking GC on Stage 2, all eyes were on Katie Hall before the start, a familiar position for the powerhouse United Healthcare Pro Cycling team.
We're expecting a pretty aggressive race here today. We've got 6 strong riders and a lot of options to play. We'll play a little bit of a defensive role with the GC, but yeah, I'm excited to race. Yeah, I think it's going to be aggressive from the start of the race, so we'll focus on that part. I think there'll be a lot of people trying to get up the road, but if it comes to a finish, we've got a good lead out here, and we'll take it to the line.
As the riders hit the Highland Circuit, the racing started early with the first QOM of the day. Hagens-Berman Superman showed they were hunting the red jersey with Starlet Teddergreen yesterday, and she made her way to the front again today on the first lap, opening up a slight gap on the climb to pick up the maximum 7 points for the QOM sprints. The next QOM sprint didn't come for until 5 laps to go, so Teddergreen could sit back and let her teammates ride the front until the next climb.
It all started with Hagens-Berman's Jen Lubke, who got into the early move of 5, along with Ali Dragoo, Catherine Main, Emily Marcolini, and the biggest GC threat, Allison Cobbett, only 2 minutes and 3 seconds down on the general classification.
The gap only got up to about a minute when the riders hit the line for a crucial time bonus at 8 laps to go, with 10 seconds being taken off of the lap winner's GC time. The break stayed away through the lap, and Tibco's Cobb jumped across to bring her under 2 minutes down on Katie Hall.
But it was United Healthcare and Rally that kept the gap between 45 seconds and a little over a minute for the next few laps, as Katie Hall and Sarah Bergen used their teams to make sure Cobb up the road did not become a major GC threat. As the race approached 2 laps to go, teams like Hagens-Berman Superman made their way back to the front in support of Teddergreen with an upcoming Queen of the Mountain.
The field made the catch on the break on the QOM lap, which set up an explosive battle for the second and final QOM of the day. Again, it was Starlet Teddergreen attacking at the bottom of the climb and holding on the line to pick up the QOM points ahead of her teammate Jen Lubke and Rally Sarah Bergen, wearing the QOM jersey in third. That put Teddergreen in the virtual QOM lead, but there were still points available at the finish, which we know Sarah Bergen would be targeting.
Then, with 4 laps to go, the race gets turned upside down with an attack by 2020's Jasmine During. This was a bold move from a long way out, and During got no help from the other teams, getting stuck out in front solo for the final 4 laps, but that did not deter her as During pressed on, going up to 40 seconds out, and at one point coming within 10 seconds of being caught before pulling the gap out again.
Yeah, it was back and forth all day for During. Behind her, Katie Hall sat right behind Sarah Bergen, playing defense for her yellow jersey, forcing Bergen to attack while Hall simply followed the moves. Anything Bergen did, Hall was right there.
The crafty During seized the opportunity with one final push on the descent, heading out on the final lap in an amazing solo performance. She held off the field, winning Stage 3 by a tiny 12 seconds ahead of Katie Hall and 14 seconds ahead of Sarah Bergen.
Oh man, I was hurting for sure, but I know from watching the men's race the last few years, I know that the break has a really good chance of sticking towards the end, especially when it's hot like this, just because the field is starting to get tired too. And so I knew, as long as I just keep the pressure on, I've got a chance. But it was close in the end, and I didn't actually think I was going to make it. I was sure they were going to pass me right before the line.
Katie Hall was satisfied with the day as well, adding a couple seconds over Bergen to take her GC lead up to 26 seconds heading in to Stage 4 tomorrow. So with just 2 days remaining, we have some great battles unfolding here in Redlands. Katie Hall holds on to her GC lead with a second-place stage finish, and the QOM competition is heating up as well. Starlet Teddegreen is just 1 point out of the jersey, so it'll all come down to the Sunset Loop Road Race on Sunday to determine the top climber here at the Redlands Bicycle Classic, presented by the San Manuel Band of Mission Indians.